There's something remarkable about a person who can stay focused in a world full of noise. When you meet someone who moves with calm confidence, who listens deeply, who works quietly while everyone else is rushing, there's power there. Real power, because focus is not just about attention. It's about direction. It's the ability to stay still in the storm and trust that what you're building, what you're dreaming, is worth the wait. Let me tell you a story. There once lived a young man named Daniel. He wasn't extraordinary in any obvious way. No wealth, no fame, no special privileges. He was just an average man living in a small town, trying to find meaning in a busy, distracted world. Every day, Daniel woke up early, scrolled through his phone, checked messages, and lost himself in endless comparisons. Everyone seemed to be doing better than him. His friends getting promotions, his classmates buying homes, people he knew traveling the world while he felt stuck in the same place. He would start projects, chase ideas, even make resolutions. But within weeks he'd give up, not because he wasn't capable, but because his focus was scattered. He tried to do too much all at once, and nothing ever got finished. The truth was, Daniel wanted change, but he didn't know how to discipline his mind long enough to see it happen. One afternoon, after losing another opportunity because of distraction, Daniel went to visit his grandfather, a quiet man who lived on a small farm outside of town. His grandfather, Mr. Jacobs, had lived a simple but peaceful life. People often came to him for advice because he had a calmness that the world seemed to have forgotten. When Daniel arrived, his frustration spilled out. "Grandpa," he said, "I don't get it. I try so hard to do everything right, but nothing works. I start strong, but I lose motivation. I'm tired of feeling like I'm always behind." The old man smiled softly and said, "Follow me." They walked to the backyard, where a small garden grew beside a wooden fence. The grandfather pointed to two plants. One was tall and full of fruit, strong and green. The other was weak, barely standing, its leaves thin and fading. "Do you see these two?" he asked. Daniel nodded. "I planted them on the same day," the old man continued. "I gave them the same soil, the same sunlight. But this one," he said, pointing to the healthy plant, "I watered every day, just a little. The other one," he said, pointing to the dying one, "I watered sometimes a lot, sometimes not at all. Tell me, Daniel, what do you think made the difference?" Daniel thought for a moment. "The one you watered consistently," he said. "Exactly," his grandfather smiled. "It's not about doing everything. It's about doing the right things consistently." Those words struck Daniel deeply. That night he couldn't sleep. He realized his life was like the dying plant, full of effort but lacking focus. The next morning he made a decision to simplify his life. He deleted distractions, stopped trying to do everything, and instead chose 3 habits to build his future: waking up early, reading every day, and writing his goals before bed. The first week was tough. He wanted to quit. The second week was harder, but by the third week something changed. His mind became clearer. His energy felt stronger. He wasn't chasing 10 different dreams anymore. He was nurturing one seed at a time, and slowly, that focus began to change everything. Months passed, and Daniel noticed a shift not just in his work, but in his peace. He started accomplishing tasks that used to feel impossible. People around him began to notice. "You've changed," they said. But Daniel smiled because he knew. He hadn't changed who he was. He had just changed what he focused on. One evening, as he sat watching the sunset over his grandfather's garden, Daniel finally understood what his grandfather meant. "Success," he whispered to himself, "isn't about doing more, it's about doing one thing well. That's the secret, my friend. Focus doesn't just change your results, it changes your spirit. A focused mind is a peaceful mind. It silences chaos. It builds confidence. It reminds you that progress is not about speed, it's about direction. And maybe that's what the world needs most right now. Not louder voices, not faster answers, but deeper focus. The kind that keeps you grounded when everything around you tries to pull you away. The kind that reminds you that real growth happens slowly, quietly, like a seed taking root beneath the soil before it ever reaches the light. So if you feel lost or overwhelmed today, take a deep breath. Choose one thing, one goal, one habit, and pour your heart into it every single day. Because when your mind is focused, even small steps become powerful. Even simple habits can move mountains. At the end of the day, Daniel didn't become successful because of luck. He became successful because he learned how to focus his mind. And that's something you can do too. You don't need perfection. You need direction. You don't need to rush. You need to stay consistent. Because the truth is simple. A focused mind builds a fulfilled life. And once you learn to master your focus, everything else begins to fall into place. So empty your distractions, strengthen your discipline, and keep your eyes on what truly matters. Because where your focus goes, your future grows.